Hello, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while, and you might notice there's not really books behind me. I had to move all my books, well, a lot of my books that were piled up around my desk, because we're getting some work done on the windows, and all the stuff needs to be out of the windows and out of the space in front of the windows in order to do that work, which hasn't happened yet. So, for the moment, my books are all piled up in my room. Where do I sleep? It's tricky. I negotiate with the books. It's not quite that bad, but it feels like that. Anyway, so I spent way too much time moving everything, which cut down on the reading time. I should have been doing an audiobook. I didn't. Yeah, I know. So I have finished some books. So this is a update for, I guess, the first 2-ish weeks of October. It's not quite the end of the second week, so it could be worse. And we haven't actually reached the end of the second leg of Spillane, which is one of the 2 readathons that I'm participating in this month. So it's not terribly late. I was going to do a book haul video, which has definitely been postponed by having to move all the books, because that was a lot of the books that were piled up in the window. So yeah, it'll be a little while. And then on top of that, so I had a small book haul that was just a very short stack, like 12, 15 books at most. And then we had the library's fall bag of books sale, and I got 3 bags of books from that. And then my housemate, one of them, was doing an unhaul on her library. She's considerably older than me and has a whole bunch of murder mysteries. Part of why we get along so well. But yeah, she was going through her collection and culling the books that she knows she's not going to read again. Some of them. And so, of course, she sent the bags over to my part of our building, and I had to go through them and pull the ones that I wanted to read before they go away. So they're now in my collection, and that's basically several more bags worth of just murder mysteries, in addition to the 3 bags of books I got from the book sale, and the roughly 15 books that I got from the previous book haul. Looks like Katarina is being a kitten. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so there's lots of books. I'm not sure at this point what makes sense as far as that book haul, because there's so many books involved. Some of them I will be reading this month, because as I think I did mention in the previous video, I should have anyway, my plan, oh, there's the kitten. You can see the new kitten. That's Maurice. He's not quite big enough to get all the way to the top, although he's going to probably try. That could have been a disaster. Oh my goodness. So you get to watch the drama of the cats during this video, apparently. Anyway, so I'm only doing murder mysteries and arcs this month. Anything else that I thought I might want to read that isn't in those categories has to wait. There's just so much to read, and I need to narrow my focus so I don't lose my sanity, whatever there is left of it. So, this update. All the books are murder mysteries. So here's the books I finished. In addition, there's one arc that's also a murder mystery off Netgalley. The new Joe Nesbø book, Blood Ties, which was good. More of a thriller than a mystery because we already know who did it. We don't know why, but we start out in the perspective of one of the killers. So we already know. So it's one of those. And I'm pretty sure he does a lot of that. I've only read maybe 2 of his books, and it's been a while. So I am by no means an expert on that author, but I enjoyed it. It's the only one I won't be able to show you guys because it's just on Netgalley, and I still don't have the tech figured out to be able to put the picture of the book on the screen. Yeah, I know it's simple. I haven't figured it out. And to be fair, I'm a very poor person on a Chromebook, and that does limit one's options for doing graphics on videos. So, in any case, that's the only one that I don't have to show off. I really don't have that many books in this update. I have literally 1 arc and 5 non-arcs. So, the first one I finished that was not an arc was the Chocolate Cobweb by Charlotte Armstrong. Great. This is a vintage murder mystery, kind of a thriller murder mystery. It involves chocolate with poison in it, which is a pretty easy guess when there's chocolate involved. The chocolate cobweb does actually show up as a phrase in the book. Beyond that, it's not a very descriptive title for what's going on. The character should not be wearing that outfit because it really does not fit. So this is a reprint in large type, which just means it's readable. The original for this book was 1948. Which is why the lady on the cover is wearing totally wrong clothes for this book. Because it's set in 1948. So, World War II era. Yeah, not 60s. And I think it was published in this edition in the 60s. No, 70s, 1975. So, yeah. Anyway, other than that, it was a really good book. Not super memorable, just, it was good. I enjoyed it. A little bit dated in places, but if you like vintage murder mysteries, it has that vibe, because it definitely is. And for a 1948 murder mystery, it actually reads pretty modern. So, I enjoyed it. I will definitely be reading more of this author because I'm pretty sure I have more. This one is one from my housemates on haul that became my haul. So this is one of the ones I don't have to include in a haul video. Then we have Mickey Spillane, Something's Down There. I'm pretty sure this is one I got from the Bag of Books sale. I know that my housemate would not have acquired it, so it's not really her style. But I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Mickey Spillane is one of those authors that shows up on book lists, especially the Guardian 1000 novels list. So I've read some of his books because of that list. This one, is a thriller on boats, kind of on the edge of the Bermuda Triangle. And there's a thing, maybe a man-made thing, maybe a creature, that is taking bites out of boats, like big bites, and making them sink. And there might be some leftover munitions from World War II that are involved, but it takes a long time to actually start working out what all is going on. Maybe a little too long. This is one where the pacing was a little bit off, so the thrill kind of died down into just, okay, we're getting bored now. But it wasn't too bad. Spillane is usually a pretty fast-moving author. So, anyway, something's down there. This one was for the Fabelin side quest prompt in the no, not for a side quest prompt. The mainline prompts. Alright, so this one, we needed, well, a book with weather on the cover is one that I chose for that point. So that's this one. Definitely has weather on the cover. Then we needed a book with shadows on the cover, things casting shadows. This one I was going to try to read for side quests in the first round and didn't finish it in time. It also has a fire on the cover, so I could have used that. But it definitely has some shadows, because all the buildings that are being lit by the fire have shadows behind them. The horse kind of has a shadow too, actually, but it's not as clear whether it's his shadow or not. It should be his shadow. This one, well, I'll get to it. I'll show you the order of what I read, and then we'll get back to it. So that one, and then this one is a book with up, down, left, or right in the title. So down. Which, if you're doing Fabelin, that gives you an idea of which options I chose. But yeah, so Secrets of Winter, very poorly paced. Right off the bat, too many characters. It took to almost 100 pages mark to actually get the murder that would be the central murder of the book. It's not that long a book. So if it takes 100 pages to get to the body, I've kind of lost track of what genre I'm reading. So that was a little frustrating. And there's a lot of characters. This is one where there's a dinner party with 13 guests, plus the hosts. And it's not much of a spoiler, and I suppose it could be, but you catch on after the first couple dozen pages. Yeah, it's not like And Then There Were None, the Agatha Christie book where the guests are eliminated until there's only one left or something like that. It's not like that. You'd run out of pages way early if it took 100 pages to get into it and you were going to kill off all the guests. Yeah, so you catch on pretty quick. It's not a body-heavy story. Which also means that all of those characters are still in play way far into the book. So I think a lot of this kind of book works if you have this big dinner party, but you start dropping off the guests, so you don't have to keep track of them anymore because they died. Since that wasn't really what was going on in this one, it stayed overly complicated way too long. And as a result, then the characters weren't very well developed. When you find out what all is going on, and there are some twists that could be interesting, I don't care about any of those characters enough by the time I get to that point for it to really hit the way it should. So I think this one really just suffers from, all of that. It's kind of amusing because it's centered around the character Josephine Tay, who in real life is the author that wrote the Inspector Grant series, which is classic murder mysteries. So these are the Josephine Tay series by Nicola Upson. And I have only read this one out of the series so far. But yeah, I'm hoping that if I read more, and I think I have more on my shelves, this is another one that I got from my housemate. So I'm pretty sure there were others by this author. I will read them. It's not so terrible that I'm unhauling the whole series. But I have to wonder about her pacing. And it may be a style thing. Maybe it's more like historical fiction that just happens to have murders. That kind of thing. It was okay. Set during the first year or so of World War I. So, World War setting. There are Nazis in kind of the background, but not a lot. And Marlene Dietrich is one of the guests. So they're dealing with issues of discrimination against German people just because they're German, as one of the themes kind of in the background as well. Anyway, it was fun, but could have been a lot better. Alright, I did that one. Airs Above the Ground. This one centers around Lipizaners. The super talented and beautiful, usually white horses that I've actually seen before, because they did have things at the fair that involved Lipizaners, at least once when I was there. So I've seen them do their performance. But in this one we have kind of a fun premise. We have a woman whose husband has gone overseas, gone into Europe from England, and she's supposed to join him at some point. But he's kind of dropped off the face of the map, and she's not really sure where he is. She thinks she has an idea, and she keeps getting letters from him. Not frequently enough, but enough that she thinks that means that he's in, I think, Stockholm. But then there's something off with that. He turns up in a newsreel, not in Stockholm, on roughly the same day as he's supposed to have written one of these letters. She goes off looking for her husband. And then it all gets more complicated from there. Mary Stewart does a little bit better at pacing just in general. I did find it a little tedious in the middle, but it's not a long book. This one's actually shorter than 200 pages. So it's not a difficult read, but it is a little slow if you've just finished reading a Mickey Spillane, for example, because it's definitely not going to read like Mickey Spillane. This is more of a classic vintage sort of feel. But yeah, I do enjoy Mary Stewart. She does fantasy as well, King Arthur's stories, like time travel King Arthur stories, which are really good. Anyway, this one's probably about a 3.75, 4 stars. Still not a 5. I haven't had a lot of 5s yet this month. Blood Ties is a 4.5. That was the arc. So, still no 5s. And we have Hocus, Croakus by Mary Daheim. Also not a 5. probably a 4-star. It was a pretty solid novel. Nothing super memorable. It involves magic. A magician and his sidekicks, and they're performing in a casino. I'm not a gambler, and I really find the whole concept of gambling kind of dumb. So I sympathize somewhat with the main character, who also really doesn't get the whole gambling thing. The twist at the end, if I was the main character, I would be suing for divorce by the end of this book. So I'm not really sure if I'm in sympathy entirely with the main character, because I don't get the feeling that divorce is quite on the table by the end of this book. But it was good. It was amusing, and the twist was different. So I do have one more of these. These ones are from the library. I got 2 of them. 2 Daheim books. Because I'm doing the D's. I had my sister tell me which letter I should read, because I was getting tired of the A's. So I'm reading the D's now at our local branch library. So I have one more Daheim, and I have a few others. I returned all my other library books unless they were D's or murder mysteries. So, yeah. So that's what I've read so far. Way short list for a Jamie, for it being the 11th. But things may pick up a little bit now that I moved all my books out of the window. Yeah. Hopefully, things will get a little bit less chaotic. I can focus on reading and not have to be moving all my stuff all the time. I'm working on a few books currently. This one is an almost all black cover. Something's Wrong by Elizabeth Lennington, which is another vintage classic sort of murder mystery. This one is from (1967). I have Wicked Autumn by G.M. Millier. This one is actually for the TBR Harvest, for a book with autumn as a theme and on the cover, and the title is Wicked Autumn. It better be set in autumn. So that's also for the prompt currently in Spillane, a book for another readathon. This one is another one for a side quest prompt for Spillane, a book with furniture on the cover. It has a chair and a body. Kind of hard to see, but there's a chair right here. So this is Marjorie Allingham, The White Cottage Mystery. And I have a bunch of this author. These are both from my housemate. As is this. And this one. Here's another Marjorie Allingham, Death of a Ghost. Or a book with a ghost. Book I don't know much about. Death of a Baritone by Karen Sturgis. And Besides the Wench is Dead by Margaret Erskine. So those are all actually from my housemate's collection. And this one I did get from a Bag of Books sale purchase. I do really enjoy Simon Brett's books. So this one's from the Feathering series, which I'm almost caught up to this one, and enough that I know what's going on. So I don't know if I'm missing some books before this one, but it's working out so far. Anyway, so that's what I'm reading. I will probably not be doing a book haul video yet because I need to wait until the windows are dealt with before I can really set up where I film. And this is really the better spot for lighting. You've seen the attempts I've made at doing recording in my room. That was before everything moved in there. Yeah, at this point, I don't think I want to try and do filming in my room, and I can't really do filming out here with all of my book haul without bringing them all back out, at which point it would be nice if I don't have to move them again. So I think that's what we're looking at. So there will be another update video soon. I will be making bingo boards for the Dewey's Readathon, which happens the 26th and 27th of this month. So I need to be getting on that, and I will probably do a short video talking about Dewey's, because there are some folks that want to know more about it, and it's not really on YouTube, but I can talk about it a little bit. Yeah, so that's kind of what's up. You guys got to see my kitties, and I get to find out what my cat landed on that made the horrible noise. Yeah. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I will hopefully not be such a stranger now that I've made another video. We did actually get better internet set up. Hi, Katerina. Yeah, I see you. You're making lots of noise. Yeah. So yeah, we did get some better internet set up. I haven't hooked up to it yet. I actually want to switch to my new computer to try the new internet. So I'm going to kind of do that all at once. So that's coming up. So the next update might be recorded on the new computer, which will be very exciting. Yeah. So yeah, for now, I'm going to sign off and get started reading because the Fabelin side quest prompts need to be done by the 12th, I think is what the Discord message said. So I need to finish as many of the stack I showed you as I can between now and then. Because otherwise I won't be finishing all the side quests. Oh yeah, and the last two books are for the side quest where you had to roll for a number and read that many books. I got a 2, which is really nice. So besides The Wench is Dead and The Witness at the Wedding are for that. So yeah. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of the books I talked about or if you've read any of the authors I talked about. And I will catch you again very shortly. Bye, guys!